Turn on your stove fan and hold a single square of toilet paper up against the vent. If the paper clings to the metal on its own, your hood is breathing. If it flutters and falls, your kitchen has a problem you cannot see, because the machine responsible for pulling grease out of your air has quietly clogged itself shut. And here is the uncomfortable truth about that clog. Every bit of grease that filter fails to catch does not vanish. It floats past, drifts across the room, and settles on your cabinets, your walls, your ceiling, the tops of your picture frames. The sticky film you keep fighting all over the kitchen begins its life at one single point, a metal screen most people have never once removed, never once looked at closely, and in some homes, never cleaned in the entire life of the house. I am going to show you how to take that filter from a caked, amber-colored slab back to bare shining metal using two things you already own: no soaking overnight, no oven cleaner fumes, no scrubbing until your arm aches. The whole active working time is under 15 minutes, and the difference in how your kitchen smells, how fast steam clears when you cook, and how slowly grease builds up on every other surface is honestly hard to believe until you experience it. I am Mason, this is Mason Pure Cleaning, and on this channel I test the plain, cheap methods against the expensive ones so you do not have to waste your own money finding out which side wins. If that kind of testing is useful to you, the subscribe button takes 1 second and it means a lot. Now, before we pull that filter down, you need to understand what it has actually been catching, because that knowledge changes how you treat every step that follows, what your hood filter really is. Every time you sear, fry, saute, or even simmer a pot of soup, microscopic droplets of fat leave the pan riding on hot air. They are far too small to see, but they are real, measurable, and constant. Your range hood exists for one reason: to grab those droplets before they land somewhere in your home, and the mesh filter is the net doing the grabbing. Inside that filter are layers of woven aluminum or steel strands, and the design forces air to twist and turn as it passes through. Grease droplets are heavier than air, so they cannot make the turns. They slam into the metal and stick, layer upon layer, meal after meal, year after year. Fresh, that trapped grease is soft and would wipe away with a soapy cloth, but it does not stay fresh, because the filter sits directly above your burners in the hottest air in the kitchen. Heat and oxygen work on those fat droplets day after day, linking the molecules into long, hardened chains, a process called polymerization, which is the last chemistry term I will use, I promise. Polymerized grease is no longer really grease. It is closer to a varnish. It is the same tough coating that makes a cast iron pan black and slick, only here it is choking a filter instead of seasoning a skillet. A damp cloth slides right off it. Ordinary spray degreasers soften the top skin, give you a brown paper towel, and leave the cured layers underneath completely intact, which is why the filter looks nearly as bad 2 days after you tried. And a clogged filter is not just an eyesore hiding above your head. First, airflow collapses. A hood that once cleared steam in seconds starts letting it roll across the ceiling, and cooking smells hang in the house until the next morning. Second, that hardened fat layer sitting inches above open flame is fuel. Fire departments list grease-loaded hood filters as one of the most common ignition points in home kitchen fires, and it makes sense. A fully loaded filter is essentially a candle wick stretched over a burner. Third, and this is the part almost nobody connects, a blocked filter is the reason the rest of your kitchen gets greasy so fast. When the net is full, the droplets sail past it, and your walls become the filter instead. Clean this one component, and every other cleaning job in the room gets easier for months. So the mission is clear, and the good news is the solution is sitting in your pantry next to the flour. Let me walk you through it from the very first move. Step number 1, the release and the dry pass. Look at the underside of your hood. Most filters are held by a small metal loop, a sliding latch, or a spring clip. Push the latch toward the center, tilt the filter down, and it drops free into your hands. If you have never done this before, do it over a spread of old newspaper or a towel, because loose flakes of buildup often rain down the moment the filter moves. Some hoods hold 2 or 3 panels. Take them all down. While you are under there, glance up into the cavity where the fan sits. We will come back to that space later, and I want you to remember what it looks like before. Carry the filters to the sink, but keep the water off for a minute, because the first pass is completely dry. Take a stiff plastic dish brush, or even an old plastic card, and knock the loose, flaky material off both faces of the mesh over the trash. You are not scrubbing yet, you are just shedding the crust that is barely hanging on. Every gram you remove dry is material your hot soak will not have to dissolve, and on a badly loaded filter this single minute of work can shorten the whole job dramatically. One firm rule here: no metal brushes and no steel wool, not on this step and not on any step. Aluminum mesh is soft, and steel bristles shred the fine strands, permanently reducing how much grease the filter can ever catch again. Plastic bristles, plastic edges, nothing harder. While you are at it, run your thumbnail across the mesh in an inconspicuous corner. If you can carve a visible groove in the coating, you are dealing with heavy cure, and you will want the full soak time coming up. If your nail barely leaves a mark of softness, your buildup is younger, and this will go even faster than I am about to describe. Step number 2. The hot bath that does the work for you. Here is the heart of the method, and here is your shopping list for it. Baking soda and plain dish soap. That is the entire list. Plug your sink, or use a heat-safe basin or roasting pan if your filters are long, and lay the filters flat inside. Now put your kettle on, or heat a large pot of water on the stove until it is just below boiling, steaming hard, hissing, but not at a rolling boil. Sprinkle about half a cup of baking soda evenly across the filters, add a good squeeze of ordinary dish soap, the plainest bottle you own, and then pour the near-boiling water slowly over everything until the filters are fully covered. The reaction you see next is the most satisfying moment in this entire video. The water hits the greased mesh and the surface erupts, fizzing, clouding, turning yellow-brown within seconds, as decades of cooked-on fat starts letting go before you have touched anything. 3 things are happening at once in that sink, and each one matters. The heat is doing the heavy lifting, because polymerized fat that is rock hard at room temperature softens dramatically near boiling, the same way cold bacon fat is solid in the pan and liquid over flame. The baking soda is a mild alkali, and alkalinity attacks the chemical bonds in cured fats through a reaction that literally converts the edges of the grease into a soap-like substance, meaning the buildup starts dissolving itself. And the dish soap grabs every droplet the other 2 release and holds it suspended in the water so it cannot resettle onto the metal. Heat, alkali, surfactant. That trio is exactly what commercial hood cleaning services use on restaurant systems, just at industrial strength. You are running the home version for roughly 40 cents. Now walk away for 10 to 15 minutes. Not longer, and I will explain why. Because this is where I owe you some honesty that most videos skip. The majority of home hood filters are aluminum, and aluminum does not love sitting in strong alkaline water for hours. An overnight soak in a heavy baking soda bath can leave aluminum darkened or dull gray. It still works fine, but it looks tired. 10 to 15 minutes in this solution is completely safe and does 90% of the dissolving. If your filter is stainless steel, you have more leeway, but the short soak is all either metal actually needs. This is also why I tell people to keep hood filters out of the dishwasher. The combination of harsh detergent and long hot cycles is exactly the recipe that discolors aluminum, and it redeposits grease inside your machine as a bonus problem you did not ask for. While the filters soak, look at that water. Watch it turn the color of weak coffee, then strong coffee. Every shade darker is grease that is no longer in your kitchen's air path. If you are enjoying watching someone else's filth dissolve, imagine your own. And if this video already feels like it is going to save you a miserable afternoon, a quick like helps more people find it before they buy another bottle of spray that was never going to work. Step number 3. The brush, the rinse, and the dry. After the soak, drain the murky water and hit the filters with your plastic brush under hot running tap water. You will notice immediately that the character of the job has changed. What was a cured varnish 20 minutes ago now slides off like soft butter, because the bath converted the hard problem into an easy one. Work the brush along the direction of the mesh channels rather than across them, front face, back face, and give extra attention to the edges and the frame corners where buildup hides thickest. On most filters, 2 or 3 minutes of light brushing takes the metal down to bright and bare. If you hit a stubborn patch that survived the soak, usually the center zone that sits directly over your most used burner, do not fight it with muscle. Shake a little dry baking soda straight onto the wet brush, and work that spot in small circles. The gentle grit finishes what the bath started, and baking soda crystals are softer than the metal, so they crumble before they can scratch. For filters that have gone 5 or 10 years without any cleaning at all, the honest answer is you may need to run the hot bath a second time. 2 rounds handles nearly anything. If a filter is so far gone that the mesh itself has corroded or the frame is bent, replacements cost surprisingly little and take 30 seconds to swap, and there is no shame in that call after a decade of neglect. Rinse until the water runs clear and the mesh shows no suds, then shake off the excess and stand the filters on a towel to dry completely. Completely is the key word. A filter that goes back up damp becomes flypaper for the very next cooking session, because fresh grease vapor bonds to moisture instantly. Give it an hour propped near a window, or pat it thoroughly and let it air out while you handle the next part of the job, because we are not done, and the next part is the one everyone forgets exists. Step number 4, the cavity nobody looks into. With the filters out, shine your phone light up into the hood opening. You will likely find a coated fan housing, greasy fan blades, and an underside panel wearing the same amber film the filters had, because everything the mesh missed over the years ended up in here. Cleaning the filter and skipping the cavity is like changing your car's oil and pouring the old oil back in. Kill the power first, unplug the hood if it has a cord, or flip its breaker if it is hardwired, because you are about to put damp hands near a motor and switches, and 30 seconds of caution is worth everything. Then mix a paste, 3 tablespoons of baking soda, with just enough dish soap to bind it, thick like frosting. Spread it across the underside panel and any reachable metal around the fan opening with a barely damp cloth. Let it sit and work for 10 minutes, then wipe it away with slow, firm strokes. The color change on your cloth tells the story. For the fan blades themselves, wipe only what you can easily reach with a damp, well-wrung cloth. Never spray liquid toward the motor, and never soak anything up there. If the blades are heavily caked deep inside, that is a once-a-year job worth doing carefully or leaving to a technician, but the reachable surfaces make up most of the airflow restriction anyway. One important detour while we are up here. Some hoods, especially the ductless kind that recirculate air instead of venting outside, contain a second filter, a black panel of activated charcoal sitting behind the mesh. Hear this clearly, charcoal filters cannot be washed. Water destroys their ability to trap odor molecules, and a soaked charcoal filter is a dead charcoal filter that still looks alive. Those get replaced, not cleaned, roughly once or twice a year depending on how much you fry, and they cost about as much as one pizza. The metal mesh gets washed, the charcoal gets swapped, and mixing up those two rules is one of the most common hood mistakes in existence. Wipe the outside of the hood while everything dries. The same paste works on the stainless shell, always wiping with the grain of the metal, then a clean damp pass, then dry. Clip the bone-dry filters back into place, restore the power, and run the fan. Hold that square of toilet paper up again. This time it should snap flat against the mesh and stay pinned there on its own, and that little piece of paper sticking to metal is the sound of your kitchen breathing again. The schedule that keeps you from ever doing this again now, for the part that separates a kitchen that stays clean from one that cycles back into crisis, and it comes down to one idea. The brutal job you just finished was never caused by cooking. It was caused by the gap between cleanings. Grease that gets washed while it is young rinses off in warm soapy water in 90 seconds. It only becomes a hardened varnish when it sits through months of heat cycles, so the entire game is refusing to give it those months. Here is the rhythm I recommend, tuned to how you actually cook. If you fry or sear most days, the filter comes down once a month for a quick hot soapy rinse, no soak needed, because nothing has had time to cure. If you cook moderately, every 2 months. Light cooks can stretch to a season. The full baking soda bath drops to twice a year as insurance rather than rescue, and the cavity wipe happens once a year when the weather turns and you are doing deep cleaning anyway. Total annual time investment, well under an hour, spread out in sips small enough that you will barely notice them. Make it effortless to remember. Tie the filter rinse to something you already do on schedule, the first grocery run of the month, or the day you flip the calendar page. Habits attached to existing habits survive. Habits that rely on noticing the filter looks bad fail, because by the time a filter looks bad from below, it has been clogged for months. Let me also put the money on the table plainly. A can of heavy-duty degreasing spray runs $8 to $15 and does not touch cured buildup. Professional hood cleaning for a home kitchen, where it is even offered, starts around $100. A replacement filter, $40 to $80 if you let the old one corrode. The method you just learned costs perhaps 50 cents of baking soda and a squeeze of soap per deep clean. Call it $2 a year, including a fresh box of baking soda you will use for a dozen other jobs. Nobody advertises the $2 answer because there is no margin in it, not because it loses. It wins. It has been winning since before spray bottles existed, back when this knowledge moved from one kitchen to the next over a counter instead of a commercial break. Consider this video that counter-conversation carried on. I will leave you with the moment this lesson landed on me. Years ago, I helped a family friend figure out why her brand new kitchen paint kept developing a tacky yellow film near the ceiling. We blamed the paint, blamed the primer, blamed the brand. Then one evening she cooked dinner while I happened to watch the steam, and it rolled straight past the hood, up the wall, across the fresh paint. The filter came down and it was solid, not clogged, solid, a single amber brick where mesh used to be. One hot baking soda bath later, the hood pulled like new, the wall film never returned, and I understood that half the grease problems in any kitchen are downstream of one neglected screen. Fix the source and the whole room follows. One breath, the whole method. Drop the filters, knock off the loose crust dry with a plastic brush. Lay them in the sink with half a cup of baking soda and a squeeze of plain dish soap, cover with near boiling water, and give it 10 to 15 minutes, no longer on aluminum. Brush along the mesh under hot water, spot treat survivors with dry baking soda on the brush, rinse clear, and dry completely before anything goes back up. Power off, paste clean the hood cavity and reachable fan surfaces with baking soda and soap, keep all liquid away from the motor, and remember charcoal panels get replaced, never washed. Then protect the win, quick rinse monthly if you fry often, the full bath twice a year, and the toilet paper test anytime you want proof your hood is still pulling. When you take your filter down, I want to hear about it. Tell me in the comments how long you think yours had gone uncleaned, and what color the water turned, because those confessions are half the fun of this channel, and they help the next person realize they are not the only one. If this saved you a service call or a shelf of useless sprays, subscribing is free, and make sure the next method reaches you. And coming up, I am tackling the oven door glass, the surface everyone scrubs from the wrong side, because the worst of that brown haze is usually sealed between the panes where no spray can reach, and yes, you can get in there without removing the door. Until then, keep the small rinses going, trust heat and chemistry over marketing, and enjoy cooking under a hood that finally pulls its weight. This is Mason with Mason Pure Cleaning, and your kitchen air is about to feel different.